All right, cool. Very good. So I'm going to mute you guys quickly. I'm just going to introduce the session and then we're going to get some playing going. And I know today we've got some different levels in the room. And that's, of course, a metaphorical room because you're all in your own rooms because we're not allowed outside. We've all got different levels in the room and we've got some kind of complete beginners. We've got Conthe, you were here with me last week, so you've got a little bit of kind of knowledge going on. I know Cicero, who's not on camera, but I know he's kind of broaching the intermediate range, so I've got some stuff for him to do today. And I know Jazz was with us last week and you did some beginner stuff last week. So we're going to start with just a little quiz, basically. And this is going to be impossible if it's your first time ever doing this. So what I'm going to do, and I have automatically, very quickly, within the last 2 minutes, forgotten your name, Yido. So I'm going to call you Yido for now, because that's what's on my screen in front of me. I'm going to give you, anyone who kind of can't do this exercise, I'm just going to give you a document to go look at in a minute. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a little quiz to warm up so we kind of get going and practice through the chords that we learned last week. Now, before we do that, let me make sure that I can give you guys who haven't done it a link to the chords so you have it. So in the chat, I'm just going to pop the link. So if you copy that link, that is my website with just you pop your email address in there. You may have this already. If you do, that's fantastic. It's just a set of chords that the first thing you have to do is memorize those chords. If you don't know how to read the sheet yet, that's fine. That's in last week's video. I'm not going to cover it again today in this session, but we will go through some chords today. So what I am going to do is I'm going to quiz you guys on playing through some of those chords right away up front. So the first one that we did in there was, and you'll just play this. So if you are Cicero as well, while we do this bit, you can be doing the same chords. If you know how to play them, great. If you haven't seen some of those chords for, which I think some of them might be new to you because they're a little bit unusual, then you can just kind of play those. You can work them out while we're doing this. So the first chord that you have to play, and I'm semi-stalling right now. I don't know if you can tell as I'm doing this because the chord sheet is not in front of me, and so I'm having to remember them off the top of my head. So if you're like, why is this taking so long? That's me stalling a tiny bit. The first chord we're going to do is E minor. And so I want you to play it on your guitar. And if you can find the E minor chord, you just go play it. And then you strum it for me. The next chord is A sus2. All right, good. I'm kind of having to leave a bit of time here. The next chord we're going to do is the G6 chord, or just G. You can choose between those two. But we call it says G6 on the sheet, but we play a G in this case. And if you get stuck or you can't do some, that's no problem. You just keep going. All right. And the next one we're going to do is the D sus2, if you can find that. All right. And there's 4 more to go. We've got a C major 7 or C. If you know a C, that'll be fine. Cicero, I imagine you're finding these chords, I hope some of them relatively quickly. So if you can find multiple versions of C, that would be really cool while you're doing this. And that would be the idea. So you find one C, as many C chords as you can get in this. If it's your first time doing it, you just find one C chord. All right, Next up, we have E7, which is on that list. All right, cool. We're gonna do a couple more. Even if you're stuck, it's absolutely fine. Just stick with me, and then we're gonna talk through these in a second. A minor 7 is next. Yeah, cool. All right. And then next we've got A7, second to last chord. And then the last one is a D6, which is, you can just play a D again if you know how to play a D, but a D. D6. All right, cool. So that was all the chords in the whole world. No, just the first kind of 9 chords we're going to do. And what I want kind of to work through now is we're going to take a look at, I'm going to pin myself because sometimes I sit there and I stare at you guys in the middle of talking and it distracts me while I'm saying things. Not that there's anything wrong with any of you. You're all lovely. So as we're going through, what I'd like to do today is I've got a few things that I want to run through with you guys. I want to do a little bit of Q&A on those chords and run over a couple of things we did last time, and also a bit of recap and coverage for some of you guys who are brand new, because it's lovely to see some new people in here too. I'd also like to talk about learning a song that's more than 2 chords, and work on that today. So we're going to, by the end today, we'll have a little song. And I'd like to look at some strumming stuff. So some timekeeping and strumming. And I'll throw in some bits around making the same exercises. Like a lot of the exercises I work on, I try to work on the level of like infinite exercises. So things that you could kind of do, you get good at now, but you'll still be using the same kind of ideas in 10 years or 20 years. So for Cicero and Nick, who's joined us too. I know you guys have played before. Nick, I know you've played before because I've sat in a room with you and I've taught you. But this is, you haven't played in a little while, so your fingers might hurt and it might be a challenge, but the exercises will still work the same for you guys. But you're going to have to bear with me a little bit while I catch the other guys up to some things too. So first thing I want to run you guys through on here is, and welcome to the couple of people who have joined us since, is when we're looking at these chord sheets, this one here, which is hopefully one you're staring at, there's a reason why everything is 2 fingers. And I haven't seen anyone else do this. I suspect now that it's on the internet, other people will do it, but that's okay. I like to start beginners off with easy chords. That's not unique, but I take all of those kind of beginner chords that you would normally learn and put them into 2 finger versions. And that's so that you can get playing with like your 2 most dexterous fingers, the ones that will behave. The other 2 sometimes don't behave as well. And so they're in here a little bit, but that's the idea. Only 2 fingers for everything. And your first job is to go memorize these. So I know Kontha was here last week. So how did you have them all memorized, do you think? Was that pretty good when we went through the exercise? Yeah, or yeah, okay, yeah, good. Okay, good. Yeah, great. So that's your first thing, is just go memorize them, because the hardest thing on guitar is like if you're trying to do everything and remember stuff and play at the same time, that's a nightmare. And so I don't want you to try and like put 2 things side by side. I would just like you to do the memorizing of it first. Okay, and then what I want you to do is then start taking groups of them and playing them songs. So we're going to take one idea of a song today, and we're going to put them in an order. So we're going to take four of those chords. And the first one we're going to take is this G chord here. And you've got two kind of pitches of this, and I'll just run through for you guys who are kind of brand new to this. You've got this one here, and this one here are the ones which make most sense. This middle one, if you've never seen before, can be a little bit confusing. I just want you to toss it from your mind for the moment. So this here is obviously a picture of the guitar. It's not my fingers. It's one of our teacher's fingers. Who's not Karis? Karis is a teacher at our school. We have another teacher, Dan. That's Dan fingers. If you ever met Dan or you ever meet Dan, you can say, I recognize you by your fingers. So that there is the same as what's on this image here. If you can see my mouse scrolling on the chord diagram. The white block at the end is the black line at the top. So your first thing to do is go look, okay, couple steps along, where's my black dot? That's where my finger goes. Black dot, that's where my finger goes. So you see the black dots are exactly where those fingers are going, and these lines are the strings, and these lines going across are those frets. So it's kind of like it's turned on its side. Down here, we've got which fingers to use. So this number 2 here is telling me my middle finger goes on the that sixth string, which is the sixth string is the one that's closest to your face. We number them in kind of reverse order. So 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the sixth string up here, and then my first finger is going on that second fret. And then we strum them. Now, the only other thing you need to know, and you don't have to remember all this stuff. Remember, this is recorded, so it's okay. You don't have to remember it all. Just work with one piece at a time. Is that these open signs here, they tell you what strings to play. So if I haven't, obviously, if I've got my finger on a string, I'm going to play that string. If I've got these open signs written down, then I'm going to play that string as well, even though it's got no fingers on it. If it's got an X on it, then I'm not going to play that string. That's the idea. So that's on this chord, the only string that we don't hit is this first string here. So you see here, if I strum through all the strings, the hand that's over here, if I was strumming through all those strings, he would just miss off that string closest to the floor. Okay. Cool. So that's our first chord. We're going to take a G chord. Then we're going to take an E minor chord. The E minor chord is this one down here. Okay, so your first job is we're going to practice through the G and the E minor chord. And I want to, you can obviously, hopefully you have that sheet up on your screen right now. Because I'm going to pull out of the screen share quickly. All right, so if you've got the screen on your sheet, that's fantastic. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take those two chords. And the nice thing about those two chords is that once you're in the E minor, the only difference between that G and the E minor is your middle finger. That's it. So you're just going to practice moving back and forth between those two chords. That's it. Cool. Does anyone have any questions so far as to where we're at? Yeah, go for it. Let me unmute you. What's up?
Yeah, sorry, I can't see the sheet.
Oh yeah, I stopped sharing the screen. That's my fault. Do you guys need to see the sheet still? Yeah, okay. Let me share the screen back. Yeah. Let me share it back with you. So the G6 and then the E minor. It's the only problem is I can't get both the chords on the screen at the same time. Cicero, you look like you also had a question. Yeah, you're unmuted, I think. I can't hear you there. Oh, that's a shame. If you want to pop it in the chat, Cicero, I'll read it out. Yeah. You're like, no, it's fine. All right, cool. So make sure we've got our G and our E minor. and you're going to move between them. And Cicero, so for you, this should be very easy to play those two, but if it's not, then you're welcome to do this exercise. But if it is, then fantastic. Do you know, and you can just give me like yeses or nos with this, but do you know power chords? Cicero, have you ever done power chords before? I can't see you moving. See if I can pull up chat. Okay, well, for some reason, chat isn't visible to me right now. Brilliant. I don't know why. Okay, so we'll do E minor and G, but Cicero, basically, if you know bar chords or power chords, you can do the same exercise we're doing, but with those and these. And the way you do that is you place them for the power chord or the bar chord. And I don't know if you can see my hands. There we are. So you place them, you could do E minor just as normal for the open chord. And then you're going to move up to the 3rd fret with either a power chord, which looks like this, which I'm sure I saw you playing earlier, or a bar chord, which is the full shebang. I'm not going to go too full into it today, but basically you take any other chord, which is a struggle, and you can do the same exercise we do in a second with this. Okay, so the first exercise we're going to do, which is a bit of a recap from last time, is we're going to do some air guitar. We're just going to move between them and get our fingers, and this is like one finger. So you follow the motion, you track it over, and air guitar is literally like bum, 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 bum. So if I do it on the guitar, it doesn't have to be that fast. It can be really slow. But we're trying to just get it so that those fingers just move backwards and forwards naturally. And it really is only one finger to move at this point. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let you guys know the next set of chords so you can manage yourself now. Okay. So we're going to do 4 chords today. And they are G, E minor. No, they're not. They're G. Sorry. The first 2 chords are not G and E minor. Not at all. The first 2 chords are actually G and this D here, but E minor is still in it. So E minor is the 3rd chord. So we're going to go G to the D, but it's okay because you've already been learning the E minor. So G to the D, and then we're going to go to the E minor afterwards. So it's fine that you've done G to E minor. Now let's do G to D, and that's quite a big jump. So you're going to have to take a look at your hands there if you haven't done this chord before. See the hand up there. Make sure you get the right fingers if you can. It's fingers 1 and 3 for that D chord. How are you getting on, Daniel? You doing all right? Yeah, good?
Yeah, good, mate. Cheers.
Yeah, good. All right, good. Cicero, I think I can hear you. But it's really quiet. It's okay. It's good. This makes me happy. And then now I don't think I can. Never mind. So Cicero, it looks like from what I can see, yeah, that's great. So you've got those open chords. That's really good. Do you know how to play any D chords further up the guitar? Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, there you go. That's it. So take those ones that are further up the guitar, like this D bar chord here, you just played this for me, which is great. And you're going to take that and you're going to replace that chord. So you can play the E minor as an open down here, and then you jump all the way up to here. Yeah, for that one. So you get those big kind of jumps in, and it's slightly more annoying than it should be, but that's the idea. All right, so we got G, D, and then E minor. So you're going to take groups of 2. So now we're going to do D to E minor. We've got to do that big jump. So we've got D up here, down to E minor. right, good. And I'm just going to sit here and play some background music while you practice those two. And what I want from you guys is I'm less interested at this point in what's going on in your strumming hand, and I'm more interested in the speed of movement in your fretting hand. So this is really an exercise in like how lightning fast can we do this? And if it's too easy, shut your eyes. Try and do those jumps with your eyes shut, especially for Cicero, that big jump along the guitar neck. But yeah, so when you kind of imagine your favorite artists on the guitar, you have to imagine them, you watch videos of them, they're there with their eyes shut, singing, playing the guitar. And one of the best things you can do, even as a beginner, to try and get those shapes under your fingers, is to try and get them with your eyes shut. Like, even if it takes you really slowly feeling out where the strings are or counting frets up, like doing it with your eyes shut is really valuable. All right, so we've got G, D, E minor. Let me just check, see if I haven't messed up the song again. I don't think I have, but we'll just check. All right, cool. And the last chord we're going to do for this one is C. So we got the C on there, and see if you can work out how to play it. Now the C, as I've written it on there, we've got fingers 3 and 2 being used, which is cool, and that's fine. If it's your first ever time playing it, you can use whatever fingers you want as long as you get that chord down. I really don't mind. But the picture is of kind of these dodgy old fingers being used. All right, good. All right, cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple chords and we're going to play them together. We're going to put some rhythm to it. And what I want you to do, you're going to have to judge for yourself on this, because some of you I know, some of you I have never seen play the guitar before. In fact, there's really only 2 people in the room I've seen play the guitar before. One's Karis. I've seen her play the guitar for years. I've taught Karis for like 3-4 years. And I've taught Nick a lot before. So I know I can see you guys play, but I don't know the rest of you. I don't know where you're going to be at totally. I've seen Conte play once last week. It's not enough for me to know really what's going to happen here. So I'm going to play at a certain speed, and you're going to have to judge. Basically, I want you to join in, but you don't have to play the same thing I'm doing. What you do have to do is to try and do something which is challenging for your brain. The whole important part of this is, like, if you're finding it a bit of a struggle, you're probably in the right place. If you're falling asleep bored, then we need to make it more difficult for you. And if you are like it's so much of a challenge that you just are zoning out every 2 seconds, then we need to make it easier. And everyone's got somewhere that can be on that scale. So I'm going to play 2 of the chords. And if you're a complete beginner, and this is like just finding those chords is the hardest thing, then you are not even going to strum them. You're just going to try and follow me with your hands and stay in time with that one hand. If you're somewhere in the middle and you're going to try and keep up with one strum as we go, if you are killing it and it's going really well, you're going to get super funky and you're going to do as many strums as you can and make it sound as good as you can in time with me. And we'll be like a band, except I won't be able to hear you. Okay, but I will be able to see you. So as long as you look cool, that's 90% of being in a band anyway. All right, here we go. So we're going to do G and D. And I'm going to do a count. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and for you guys, does anyone need me to leave the sheet on the screen still? Or can I take the sheet? Yes, no? Sheet on the screen, put your thumb up. Otherwise it's going. Yes, Conte wants the sheet on the screen. Okay, that's fine. So I'll leave the sheet on the screen. All right, so we're going to do G and D. Let me roll this up. So 1, and I'll count in. And basically your only job is we're going to do 1 chord per bar. So it'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4, and D, 2, 3, 4, and G. And you just follow that with as many chords as you can fit in, but always try and get the change. So if you have to go take your hand off early to get there early so you're in time with my change after 4 counts, go early every time. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. We're doing G twice, I've decided. 3. Now we're going to D. D, 2, 3. And 2. Back to the G. 3, 4. 3. D coming up. 3. Back to the G. 2, 3, 4. 3. And D. And G. 2, 3. G. 2. D coming up. Stop there. Good. All right, cool. Very good. We're going to go again, and we're going to do the G to the E minor, which I can't fit on the same page. So you're going to have to memorize one of these, and we'll go for that one. All right, so I'm going to leave it on the G, but the E minor, if you remember, is just the one finger moving. Oh, we're not doing G and E minor. I'm wrong. I can fit them both on the same page because that's wrong. That's what we were doing at the beginning. No, no, no. We're doing D and E minor. Haha. So D and E minor. So it's these two here up to there. All right, we're going to do those two. And we're going to count you, and we're going to do 2 bars of each. We're going to do it the same as last time, 2 bars of each, which is 2 counts of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. D, 2, 3, 4. D, 2. E minor coming up. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and D right now. 2, 3, 4, and D. 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, and 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. Well done. All right, good. How's our fingers doing? Okay. Anyone in pain? No? No one in pain? I can't really... Yeah. Daniel, you're in pain a little bit? You're done. Is that what you're laughing? Was it you're in pain? No, you're all right. Good. Cool. So the next one we've got is we're going to do the C. So we're going to go E minor to C. So this whole chord progression is going G, D, E minor, C. Okay. So we're going to go E minor to C. That's our next thing. 2 bars. I count you in. And if it's feeling easy, you can add more chords in terms of strumming. You can shut your eyes. You can play the C further up the guitar if you know how to do that. Shut your eyes is the best one though. And then because you're in your house and no one can hear you, like Oh, we'll do some stuff. We'll play this one. We're going to play super loud. Cicero just pointed out someone can hear him. Yeah. You're like, no. Someone can hear me. All right. Well, not many people can hear you, and you know. All right, 1. Here we go. E minor C. Here we go. E minor. 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4, and C. 2, 3, 4. E minor. C. 2, 3, 4. E minor. All right, relax 1 second there. So I want to explain why briefly, sometimes people are confused by this, is if you're following my voice the whole time, there are times where I stop saying 1, 2, 3, 4, and it'll be like the most confusing thing ever. And if that's happening for you, that's cool. That's normal when you first start playing. What I'm counting is the pulse, and the pulse is like your heartbeat in music. We need a pulse, otherwise the music dies. And that's kind of the pulse has to keep going the whole time. I'm not going to keep counting the pulse the whole time. It's that movement. It's that feeling of ba, ba. So I'm still playing it. But when I stop counting it, you need to still like have an idea of where those chord changes are. And if you haven't got that yet, it's all good. You'll get that. And I'll pick it back up every now and again. I'll dip in and out of it. But yeah, if you're expecting me to count the whole time, that's okay. I'm not going to do that, but I will bring back in and out where I think some people might be dropping out. All right, here we go again. 1, E minor and C. 3, 4. C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. E minor. 2, 3, 1, 2. C. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're able to count out loud with me, that's a great idea. C. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. E minor. 2. Here we go. C. 2, 3, 4. C. 2, 3. Minor. 2, 3, 4. Minor. 2, 3, 4. All right, cool. So we've done the 4 chords. We've done G, D, E minor, C. And this is where, if you're practicing a song, this is like kind of how you can practice it. So you take a song and you practice, you take any chords in the song, anything you got to learn, and you practice in little chunks. And then we're going to string those chunks together. But there's one chunk that we haven't done yet. And if we're doing a song and I know I haven't told you what the song is yet, because maybe when we play it, someone will work it out or say something. But we've done all these connected here, but at the end of the progression, we're going to have to loop back around and play chord number 1 again. So we need to be able to get from this to this, which is C to G. So we're going to go C, G now a bunch of times. And then we'll see if we can try the song and we'll see how that goes. All right. So C to G. And on here, let me put them on the screen so you guys can see it. All right. Are we ready? C to G. Here we go with our C chords. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 2, G. C, 3, 4, 1, 2. Come out for G. 1, C coming up. G right now. 1, 2, 3. G. C. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. G. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. C. 2, 3. We're going to end on this next G. 3, 4. All right, cool. Very good. So we're going to try this whole thing. And what I would recommend for you guys is to stick like on paper. So with my students, if they don't have a pen and paper with them, you guys would never know this, apart from Nick, who might know this. My students and Karis would know this for sure. Pen and paper is like every lesson you got to have it because you're going to have to write stuff down and do things. So you would never know this. But pen and paper is super useful because it's your best tool on the guitar. More so than any of the sheets I can ever give you. Sheets of content, books, they're valuable, but not nearly as valuable as like taking things you can't remember from your own brain and trying to write them out on paper again, because that's the stuff where you actually learn. So what you need to do is you need to write down either on your computer or on paper, or you're going to have to burn it into your memory, the 4 chords we're doing and the order of them today. Better than I knew them at the beginning of this lesson, clearly, because I did it in the wrong order. So G, D, E minor, C. Those are the 4 chords we're doing. G, D, E minor, C. So if you can stick them, because I'm going to leave this page up here. I guess maybe I could stick, I don't know if I can do it at the same time. G, D. So it's going to go G, then it's going to hop over to the D, then it's going to go to E minor, and then C. So G, D, E minor, and then C. All right. We're going to do 2 chords of each, 2 bars of each. So 2 kind of long holds of each. And we're just going to see how it goes. If you get lost, congratulations. That's kind of what we're supposed to be doing here. It's okay. All right. And if you are finding it easy, then you got to make it harder. You need to just like shut your eyes and all that stuff. All right. 1. I have this like reflex of saying 1 and then everyone gets ready when they're not ready, and then I pause. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that right now. But we're gonna go 1, 1, 2, 3. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2. D coming up. 2, 3. Going to E minor. We're going to C. Comes G, 3, 4, G. I'm slowing down a little bit. 1, 2. D is coming up. 2, 3. D, 2. E minor. 2, 3, 4. Here we go. C. G, 2, 3, 4. Really slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. E minor. We've gone for the super slow emotional ballad. 2, 3, 4, and C. Doesn't mean it's easy though. 3, 4, 1, 2. G coming up. All right, cool. So we're gonna play that loop now for probably the next 5-10 minutes. We're just gonna jam it out, and it's up to you how you kind of work with it. But I'm gonna let you know that if you're struggling to make those changes and stay in time with all 4, you're gonna do basically the same thing we did before, except you're gonna pick each time. So maybe for a little while you focus on, I don't care about chords 2 and 3 and 4. I'm just gonna try and get 1 and 2 down each time. So I'm gonna do the G and the D, and I'll get those in my head. And then you can rotate yourself around. So this is where like, it's really your job to to kind of manage yourself when we're doing this stuff. I'm going to be the backing track, and I'm here to answer questions. Then we're going to do some Q&A. And I wanted to talk a bit about strumming today, too, for this, and we will do. But we're going to play. So it's your job to kind of manage yourself. And if you're kind of lost and not able to join in with all the chords, that's cool. You just join in with what you can. It's a nice thing about no one can hear you. No one knows. You just join in with what you can. All right. Any questions before we start? All right, let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. G. 2. I don't know why I didn't zoom out earlier on. G, 2. Just hit me like an epiphany. There's a zoom thing. G, 2, 3. D, here we go. Here we go, E minor. C, coming up. D, coming up. E minor. C. G. Nice and quiet, like you're playing to a sleeping baby. D. E. C. G. Really quiet. Slowly getting louder. C. All right, so last time round. So any chords you get to, they're going to be as loud as you possibly can. G, as loud as you can hit it. Like the fireworks are going off. D, it's the end of the performance. Playing Wembley. E minor. C, coming up. And we're going to finish on G. Goes wild. People throw flowers at you, and then you wonder why there's people standing outside your house throwing things in. All right, cool. Well done, guys. I'm going to stop sharing screen. Okay, cool. Apparently, I've just found out some Karis. My sound's been cutting in and out for her. Oh, okay. It's gone now? Okay, cool, good. Cool. So give me some feedback from you guys. So I actually can't hear anyone. I'd love to either hear how some of you guys are doing, or just find out how those chord changes are going. If you want to unmute yourself, Conther, be very helpful from you since I saw you last week. I can unmute you.
So I cannot hear you. Can you repeat?
Oh, so I just wanted to know how are the chord changes coming along for you on that exercise?
Oh, the exercise was so difficult to me.
Difficult? Really hard?
Yes.
It's hard because it's 4 chords. 4 chords is a lot.
Yeah. And
so
I didn't know the chords, the position of my fingers. So it's like,
that's it. So it's going to be really hard. These like 4 chords is a lot, and it seems silly because you're like, well, it's only 4 hand positions, but it's new stuff and it's 4 chords. So these are the 4 chords you can focus on this week when you're practicing. You just do these chords over and over again. And every time you go to the guitar, it's like those 4 chords again and again and again.
Yeah.
So yeah, good. I imagine it would have been really difficult too. So I don't think that's a problem.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Daniel, how do you find it? Let me unmute you.
I'm finding it all right. It's just going to the D.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the hardest bit. So going from the others is just going to that D.
Yeah.
If I practice the D, because it takes you down the fret a bit, and then it's just that. Then I'm sort of like losing that.
Yeah, it's the hard. I think it's the hardest one on for me. Like the D chord was. I remember one of the first songs I learned was "Time Your Life" by Green Day, like classic song.
Good.
and there was like all the other kids at school could play it, and I couldn't. And the chord that I just couldn't do was that D chord change, and so it's really hard. And so like you want to. I'm gonna practice. I think it's like my fingers ain't that small, so it's just touching the other strings when it shouldn't be. But it's not bad. Sometimes I'm hitting it good. Yeah, I'd be. I
think it's just a pain in the fingers at the minute.
Show me your hands.
They're not that bad.
Yeah, no, then they're fine. I mean, I've taught people to play guitar with like hands twice the fingers twice the size of this, so you're fine. Right then. Yeah, you're fine. Your hands are pretty regular.
I think it's just the pain that you get in, and just making sure I just got to keep practicing so that pain goes away.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing is, you'll get there, and we did. That's a long session. That's longer than we played for last week, Conte. Like we did it last week, and your fingers were hurting then, and we kind of did more then. I am interested to know from. I'm really sorry, I can't remember your name, but I'm calling you Yido today because that's what's on your account. How'd you get on? Because that was your kind of first time.
Yeah, I'm struggling a little bit because obviously I'm not my first time. But yeah, I'll get used to it. I think I'll just need to look at your recording from last week, and I should be.
You go through the stuff from last week. There's lots of. You did well. I mean, the thing is, we kind of jumped in a little bit today, so you did well, and you were joining in and following along. So I could see you having some of the right chord shapes. I can't hear them, obviously, but I can see. So.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I was trying to understand the whole thing at the moment, but I'm sure I'll get there, guys.
Yeah, keep going. You're doing good. Cool. So, Mr. Nick Brown, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, Daryl. Yeah,
good.
That was really good.
Good.
It's so much easier when you don't have to find a third finger.
It is. And probably when you were doing stuff, we didn't do just the 2 fingers yet.
No, you didn't.
So,
no. It's really good.
We're like Apple, just innovating all the time, Nick. We're
very good, very good. Very good.
Cool. So what I would like you guys to do is, first of all, practice those 4 chords as much as possible this week. And then in terms of the strumming side of things, Conte, we talked a little bit last week about strumming. And really, you need to spend time working on just getting the other hand used to picking through the strings. So if you have a pick of some kind, great. You want to just get used to kind of feeling it through the strings. Using a pick is really like using a paintbrush. And if you give someone who's never used a paintbrush before a paintbrush and ask them to paint things, it's like stab the page. That's kind of how they use it. And when you first start using a pick, that's kind of how a pick sounds, but you have to go through that stage. And really, we want to try and get a relaxed hand to play through. Now, I don't want to talk too much about strumming today because I put it in the video last week a little bit and we haven't got much time left. But I did want to say something for Cicero, because I watched a video of you playing earlier today, Cicero, and here's one thing that you can do because you're kind of further wrong, and I'm going to say it in front of the other guys too because it's true for everyone, is when you were playing and you were putting lots of strumming into the chords, what looked like was happening was, when I heard it, was there was a pause between chord changes. And normally what's going on there is if I'm going, that would be like a really extreme example, is the left hand and the right hand are tied together in your brain. And so you need to, like, the hardest thing to do is to try and you have to keep this hand going, even if it strums open strings in between the two chords. So what's better to hear than that stop, which is like a CD player skipping, is so you keep this hand going the whole time, regardless of what's working on. And that's the same is true for, like, if you're doing arpeggios, like you would pick in between. So this hand keeps going, this hand doesn't. And that's something that you can work on probably too. And if you're doing that already, then you keep doing your thing. But I wanted to talk to you about it. And it's the same for you other guys. So we want to eventually keep those strumming hands going. But if I plant that seed now, that's the same thing. It's going to work forever. Is like your two hands are going to feel connected, but they're not. They are different things for all the time. Okay. Cool. Now I wanted to answer a couple of questions that I got from last time. So Conte, you asked one of them and I got a couple of questions from other people too. Is like, why are you doing this? They're like, who are you? What do you do? So Conte sent me an email. She's like, can I ask you, like, why are you doing these free guitar lessons? This makes, like, who are you? What do you do? So I'm a guitar teacher. I run a guitar school called Guitar Tuition East London. Karis is a teacher at our school. We also have another teacher called Dan. We're a very small team. And actually Nick knows us all because he's been for lessons with us before. And we teach. So we're still teaching. We kind of normally would teach classes and people in our school. And right now we're teaching online. And we're kind of beginning to do some other things too online. And so the first thing is I wanted to just start doing these free lessons. So you guys are all welcome to come to these free lessons. We've got 2 more happening. So there's one last week, which you can watch the video of. If you haven't got that video, email me and I'll send it to you. We've got 2 more coming up next week and the week after. I'm getting super nervous right now because my battery is on 6%. So if I cut out and I go, we know why. It's been like climbing down slowly. I was like, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it without having to go find my charger. I'm going to make it. So yeah, we're teaching over the next couple of weeks some free sessions. And I'm also, in the next few days, I was hoping to have it ready to go today. I'm going to start a little guitar challenge. So we do kind of lessons for people in person and online. And I mean, we're quite expensive in what we do. We're good at what we do, but we recognize it's also expensive. So we're starting out some other products that you guys will be able to work through as beginners so that you can get a taste of what we do and you can learn guitar kind of on your own if you want to. So we have a challenge that we're going to run for beginning the guitar with some coaching, which will be coming out in the next couple of days. I didn't get it ready for today. That was my plan. And I didn't. So it'll be ready by next week. And if you want to kind of do more with me and you want to have more coaching with us, then you can just reach out. That's what we do. But if you just want to do the free sessions and that's your thing, then that's cool too. I don't mind. It's just nice to have some people to teach on these sessions and kind of do the free ones. And the reason Dan isn't here is because he's off in another Zoom class teaching our actual students kind of what to do and how to play at the moment. But for now, if you guys have any questions, does anyone have any questions that they can think of right away? Because I'll sit here and answer questions. If we think those questions are long, I'll get a charger. But no, cool. All right. Well, you guys did a really nice job. From what I can see, it's hard to see through the camera and know exactly what you're doing. You did a really nice job. What I want you to do is I want you to practice just for a few minutes every day. and make sure your guitar is out wherever you are. So if you spend all your day watching Netflix, which I'm not suggesting anyone does, but if you did, right, you would have your guitar near the Netflix machine. So if that's your iPad or your computer, you have the guitar there, and you want to like build the guitar into your daily life, and you want to think of it like a routine. So you hook it onto something you already do. So if you watch Netflix every day, play guitar in between episodes. If you, I'm assuming you cook food every day, for sure. The other thing you can do is you hook it to your food. So as dinner's cooking, you practice guitar. The easiest way to build a habit is to hook it to a habit you already have, like brushing your teeth, but that's a strange one. Like brushing your teeth and playing guitar at the same time is a little bit strange, but you could do it. Hopefully that's a habit you have. If not, I'm glad we're meeting on Zoom. All right. Well, cool. Thank you so much, guys. It's an absolute pleasure. I will send you guys the recording, and that was really fun. See you guys again next week. And of course, Jazz, who's hidden as well. Hello to you and goodbye to you.
Thanks very much. Cheers, mate. See you next week.
Bye.
Cheers, man. Thanks, mate. Bye.
See you guys. Bye. See you.